All right, come on, in, everybody, and welcome to Keep Talking 365. You are joining me live. Hold on a second. Got a little bit of a glitch in the beginning there. We'll just edit that. All right, welcome to Keep Talking 365, guys. NFL picks. This is going to be a quick one. We got some football to watch in a little while, but I figured I got to keep getting my name out there, keep getting the podcast out there. More people might start listening. If you want to get in touch with me, I got a TikTok page. It's Let's Talk 1972 at TikTok. There's also a Facebook group called Keep Talking 365, and always on YouTube at Keep Talking 365 at YouTube. All right, today we got some pretty good games going on. The first one I'm going to get into is Pittsburgh at Chicago. Now, Chicago has been on the winning side of, I think, 5 games in a row. Caleb Williams has had some comebacks in the fourth quarter. He's got 2 wide receivers out there that sometimes they want to play, sometimes they don't. But DJ Moore is going to come up big today. Aaron Rodgers is a maybe. What happens if Aaron Rodgers is a maybe? Mason Rudolph's going to be the quarterback. DK Metcalf is going to suffer. The Pittsburgh Steelers without Aaron Rodgers are going to get the shit beat out of them today. Even with Aaron Rodgers, because his hand has hurt him, so he's probably not going to throw the ball all that well. So with Mason Rudolph at the quarterback position, now, if you really want to look at the defense of the Chicago Bears going into this game, okay, the defense of the Chicago Bears is playing at a pretty high level, believe it or not. They've been keeping them in games. On the offensive side of the ball, not only is Caleb Williams playing well, but you got my man Kyle Monunga from Rutgers University. Now, this team is ranked 4th in the entire NFL in rushing because of this kid. Pittsburgh's defense is absolutely horrendous. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. So that being said, Monunga is going to have a big game today for Chicago. Caleb Williams is going to keep him in it, but it's going to be because of the running back they win the game. Aaron Rodgers, with or without Mason Rudolph, Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh loses this football game. New England and Cincinnati. New England at 9-2, Cincinnati at 3-7. Who knows? Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt. Maybe Cincinnati's a different team this year, but you know what, though? He was questionable for today at 3-7. Are we really thinking about putting your franchise quarterback into a football game against New England's defense? I think that was more of a situation of let's kind of put Joe Burrow on the shelf. Chase Brown, not going to even get it moving today because New England's defense is playing at a very high level right now. Not only is their defense playing at a high level, Drake May. Who'd have thought that Drake May would come out of that draft being one of the better quarterbacks to be picked up last year? Their offense is playing great. They have 2 running backs that are hungry for yards. Stevenson's coming back today. That other kid they put in, Henderson, he's been scoring at a high level. The defense is playing well for New England. I hate saying that. Vrabel is doing a great job with this team. At 9-2, I think the New England Patriots are going to go into Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense is absolutely terrible. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. New England has both. New England is going to murder Cincinnati by like 2 touchdowns today. So I'm taking New England given the points. Minnesota and Green Bay. Great divisional game, right? Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy. Is J.J. McCarthy really who the Minnesota Vikings thought he was going to be? The offensive coordinator for that football team turned Sam Darnold into an almost Super Bowl winning quarterback. J.J. McCarthy comes back, doesn't look so good. He's been all right in the fourth quarter. He's come back. He's got 2 great offensive weapons in Jefferson and Addison. I think that Green Bay's defense is suspect at best, even with Micah Parsons. Jordan Love, he's going to have to do it with his legs. Minnesota's defense is pretty good against the pass and they're pretty good against the run. But I think the running game is going to have to get into gear because with no Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love's going to have to run the football day. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think that they're going to be met by some adverse defense that is not going to want to let Green Bay without Josh Jacobs run the football. So I had a little bit of a brain fart there. But I think Minnesota wins this football going into Lambeau Field because Green Bay, to me, is not really a great football team. They're an okay offense and they're an okay defense. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy's got to show us something. Why not against that Green Bay defense? I'm picking Minnesota to pull off the win today. Seattle and Tennessee. Besides the New York Jets, the Tennessee Titans are the worst football team in the entire league. They got Cam Ward, who looks lost at times. They have Cam Ward, who kind of thinks that he was going to come into this league and just be an instant success. The guy was the number 1 pick, went to a football team that has no direction. Their defense is terrible. Their offense is terrible. Who knows what's going to happen? Seattle with Sam Darnold is playing great. Their defense is taking heads off. They're playing out of control right now. Sam Darnold could take this football team to a Super Bowl or at least the playoffs. They're going to have to meet with the Rams with Matt Stafford, but I think that Seattle could be looking themselves at a playoff spot and possibly going to the NFC Championship. Tennessee at 1-9, Seattle at 7-3. Don't care what the point spread is with this. Seattle's going to cover by 3 touchdowns. Next up, we got Indianapolis and Kansas City. Now, this is a huge game. Would you ever think this is going to be a huge game, not for Indianapolis, but for Kansas City? Kansas City at 5-5 right now is still one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. I don't see it. Mahomes kind of keeping them in games. They got Rashid Rice back. They got no Pacheco. They got no Xavier Worthy. Without those 2 guys down, Pat Mahomes usually does find a way to win these football games. But you know what? Today is going to be different because today is going to be Daniel Jones' day. At 8-2, they have the 3rd ranked offense in passing. They have the 1st ranked in total, and they have the 3rd ranked in rushing. This offense is playing at a high level. Their defense lets up some points sometimes, but you know what, though? I think they're going to be able to keep themselves in the game and chase Pat Mahomes around a little bit. The Indianapolis Colts at 8-2 are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs because the Kansas City Chiefs really need a win today because at 9-2, the Denver Broncos are running away with that division. No Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. What's the NFL going to do? Do I see some cheating coming up? Do I see some tomfoolery in today's game? There's not going to be any room for tomfoolery. You know why? Because Daniel Jones is going to have a career day against a really, really good defense. But you know what? Daniel Jones is going to show everybody in the NFL that he's the real deal. The Indianapolis Colts win this football game, and they win it by a touchdown. Next up, we got my New York Jets and the Baltimore Ravens. I still got to say they're my New York Jets because they're my football team. I'm going to watch this football team because you know what? When the Jets don't have anything to play for, normally they play a lot better. The Jets are completely dismantled. They have Tyrod Taylor coming in today as their starting quarterback. Justin Fields needs to sit for the rest of the season. I would even sit Tyrod Taylor. I'd even give this kid the 3rd string quarterback. They got to see what we got, and we got to see what we could give away. We got a shit ton of draft picks coming to us next year. There's 3 quarterbacks coming out of the draft. I say we take the kid from Indiana and go with it. But you know what, though? If the Jets keep winning football games here and there, they're going to knock themselves right out of a pretty good pick. Maybe they trade some of their picks for one of these quarterbacks out there. I said before, I think the Cincinnati Bengals might be getting sick and tired of Joe Burrow getting hurt and would love a 1st-round pick for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, not injured, coming into New York Jets, I would love that. Tyrod Taylor does not have what it's worth to go and take on the Baltimore Ravens. And yes, the defense of the Baltimore Ravens is not playing well, but the Jets offense just absolutely sucks. And Lamar Jackson is not going to let the Baltimore Ravens lose to the New York Jets, especially in Baltimore. So I'm taking the Ravens to win this football game by at least 10 points. The Giants and the Detroit Lions. Cam Scatterboo, Malik Neighbors. If they're playing today and their defense is playing a little better, this is a different football game. Although I think the Giants are going to score a couple touchdowns here because Detroit's defense is not that great. Detroit has the most high-powered offense in professional football right now. They got Jared Goff. They got St. Brown, Williams, Gibbs, Montgomery. The name goes on and on. They got Laporta there. They have the best offense hands down in football. Their offensive line could be suspect at times, but Jared Goff is going to throw for about 500 yards against a Giants defense that has seen so many 4th quarter comebacks that you can't even count them on one hand right now. They are going to see an entire 4th quarter. The Detroit Lions are just going to keep pounding the football. They're going to pound it on the ground. They're going to pound it through the air. They're going to kill the New York Giants. Although I do hope the Giants kind of keep it, a little bit in and they score 2 touchdowns because I have their running back as my fantasy running back because my Bucky Irving pick shit the bed and he's been injured for the whole season. So let's go. Let's go, Singletary. Score 2 touchdowns. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have too much faith in that. But Detroit, it's a 13.5 point spread. They're going to win it by 2 touchdowns. Means they're going to cover the spread. Detroit wins this football game and they win it big. Jacksonville and Arizona. Although this does not look like too good of a game to actually sit there and watch, if I'm a Jacksonville fan, I'm embarrassed of my football team. I keep trying to push this Trevor Lawrence to be a good quarterback. He's not. He just sits there and almost is that quarterback. Almost is that quarterback. Thank God the Jets didn't take them back in the day. I mean, they did take Zach Wilson, but Jacksonville's defense has been embarrassingly bad coming into the league as ranked number 1 or 2 when the season started. They've just been progressively getting worse and worse. Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback today for the Arizona Cardinals, being that Kyler Murray is still hurt. No Marvin Harrison. There is a guy out there named Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson came to my attention by my son because he picked him up in fantasy. 15 catches, 18 targets, and no touchdowns last week. You know why? Because they got Trey McBride as well. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to stay home, invite Jacksonville into their house, and they're going to beat the living shit out of Jacksonville, who just progressively plays embarrassing football. Except for last week when they scored 34 points out of the blue because their running game is pretty good. But I think Arizona's defense is going to stop their running game. Trey McBride has at least 2 touchdowns. Arizona wins this football game. Now, this is the game that I want to watch today. I hope it's on TV. I don't want to watch it on Red Zone where I get, flashes of whom I think is going to be a future great quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. Cleveland and Las Vegas. The Pete Carroll-led Las Vegas Raiders right now are 2-8. They're 2-8. Geno Smith can't find it. Aiden Hutchinson, whatever that guy's name, he can't find it. He can't find a quarterback. Their offensive line can't stop jack shit. Gentry was running all over the place in Boise 2 years ago. Now he's stuck in Las Vegas behind a shit offensive line. Cleveland, surprisingly, and I think I'm calling it right now, I don't think anybody is going to agree with me too much, and I don't think this is a popular opinion, but Shedeur Sanders throws for over 200 yards today. And it's not going to be because of Gentry, because Gentry is a terrible football player. I watched him drop a touchdown pass right in his hands last week. The very limited time we get to see the Cleveland Browns. But you know what, though? Shedeur Sanders, with a full week of practice with the A-team, he's going to come. He's going to throw a couple of touchdown passes. Njoku could still play football. Their offensive line's all right. And their defense might score 2 touchdowns. So I'm picking Cleveland to come off the field today with the win, and Shedeur Sanders having over 200 yards passing. I know that's a big ask there, but Philadelphia, I almost said the Phillies. I'm on baseball mode. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys trending in 2 different directions. They're averaging 184 yards through the air, the Philadelphia Eagles, with Jalen Hurts, who's supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in football. He's taking a step back. Saquon Barkley's not the guy we saw on the way to the Super Bowl last year. He's taking a step back. Their offensive line plays okay. Their defense is okay. But look at Dallas now. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to do shit this year. They got a new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, offensive mind, dad, Marty, football family. Nobody thought this guy was going to do a good job as a head coach. He's absolutely doing a great job. He's got 2 of the most electrifying wide receivers in Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. They went out the other night, and I think there was a picture of CeeDee Lamb throwing up in Vegas the other night. But hey, you know what? He's an adult. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Plus, I think he's a pretty nice kid, so I don't think you have anything to worry about. But this Dallas football team, their defense is getting progressively better with the addition of Quinn Williams, who had a couple of sacks last week. I think he's going to chase Jalen Hurts around a little bit today. And the Dallas Cowboys are going to surprise the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to cover the spread, and they're going to go on to be 5-5 to chase Philadelphia for that first place. Atlanta, New Orleans, who cares? People in Atlanta, people in New Orleans. Penix out for the season. Kirk Cousins in. No Drake London. Terrible football game. New Orleans is going to come out of this game a winner. Who's watching it? I don't know. But let's just say New Orleans needs to get off their asses and do something. Kamara is injured again. I don't know about that. I think Kamara just wants to sit back and chill. So I'll be honest with you. This is a terrible football game. It's a divisional game. New Orleans is going to win this football game because Atlanta just outright sucks right now. So that's the NFL. You do have a Monday night. You do have a game tonight. And this is going to be the game of the week. That's why I chose to talk about this last, not just because it's the last football game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, riddled with injuries throughout the whole season. Baker Mayfield, franchise quarterback? Absolutely. He's been bouncing around the league for a couple of years, but I think he's found the home in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is riddled with injuries. Mike Evans, Bucky Irving, numerous offensive linemen in and out. Their defense is getting hit with injuries, but they still keep winning football games. You know why? Because of Baker Mayfield. Unfortunately for them tonight, they're going to be on the other side of the ball of the team who I think is going to win the Super Bowl this year. Matthew Stafford, if it wasn't for Jonathan Taylor having a ridiculous season this year, is in the question to become the MVP of the NFL. Matthew Stafford with 2 great wide receivers, a defense that's kicking ass right now, and the best running game in football, I'm taking the Rams in this game. Matthew Stafford's going to throw the ball all over the place, although Baker Mayfield's going to keep it close. The defense might keep it a little closer than we think. I think that the Rams go in to Tampa Bay and kick the shit out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know I'm going a little overboard, but say kicking the shit at 2 touchdowns really isn't kicking the shit, but Matthew Stafford's going to win this football game with his arm. He's not even going to have to use the running backs tonight. Well, that is all my NFL picks for tonight. I'm going to head upstairs, get some lunch, watch some football, and every Sunday afternoon at 11 o'clock, you get my NFL picks. I don't know if you like it. If you want to bet with me, I'd say bet against whatever I said today. It'll probably win you some money. And catch me this week at some time because I'm going to be talking about a new betting site called Kalshi. I don't understand how this is federally regulated. I guess they look at it from a Wall Street perspective and they're looking at it as futures. Yes and no. Will the Jets win? Yes. Will Ohio State win? Yes. Is there going to be a hurricane? Yes. Those are the kind of things you're betting on at this place, Kalshi. It's federally regulated, so it's not illegal in any states. It's legal in all 50 states. So we're going to be getting into that this week, Kalshi, and a couple of other political things I got to get into. And that's going to be Monday night. So hit that subscribe button. I'm only getting better and better. I'm getting more and more. I'm going to be out there all over the place. So keep talking 365. Hit that subscribe button, and it's worth the conversation.